Hey lovelies, welcome back to another video. If you guys are new, my name is Naijah. Hit that subscribe button and join my journey. So y'all, as you guys read by the title, we're gonna talk about why I made the move to Georgia. I want to give more information. I did speak about this topic a little bit in my moving vlog, but I wanted to dedicate a video just for this because I really want to talk about what made me make the move. When did I know it was the right decision? Why did I leave my daughter behind? I really want to get in depth and talk to you guys because I know I'm not the only one out here who probably went through the emotions, the feelings, the thought, wondering how do I know when's the right move. I know I'm not the only one out here, and if this video can just help one person, I'm okay with that. So if you want to be in my business and know a little bit more as to why I made my move, stay tuned. So yeah, I have a notepad in front of me, so if you guys see me looking down, it's just to make sure that I'm staying on track and talking about the topics that I want to talk about in order. So for the first thing I do want to talk about is what made me want to move out of New York. I wanted to move out of New York because honestly, from I was a teenager up until the age of 28, I had not been happy whatsoever. I lived in New York for the whole 28 years that I have been on this earth so far, and I have not been happy at all. I've been through a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, and I felt like I could not reach the potential that God has for me in New York anymore. I felt like I served no purpose anymore in New York, and I just feel like New York sets a limit on you, and you're like, once you reach this limit right here, it's like you can't go further. That's how I personally felt. I'm not saying this is everybody's story. I'm not saying this is how everyone else felt, because there are some people that made it in New York. There's some people that are successful in New York. I'm just saying, for me personally, I felt like there was a brick wall over my head and I could not grow and be a better me and become a wiser me and actually step out of my comfort zone. I felt like I couldn't do that in New York. I felt like I reached my maximum level and it was just time to make a big change. I was not happy, I was miserable, and I just didn't feel peace in New York. I was definitely comfortable in an uncomfortable situation, multiple uncomfortable situations. I end up forcing myself to just be comfortable. I didn't want to take the next step because I was comfortable. I've been planning on moving out of New York for maybe, I want to say 2 years. I want to say about the beginning of 2022, I had made my mind up that I need to get out of New York because New York is not for me. However, I did not make the move. I was procrastinating. I was scared. I made fear take take over me, and I didn't do it. I was just like, how am I gonna do this? What am I gonna do? I have my daughter. I'm just gonna take her out of school and just move to Georgia with no plan, no nothing, not knowing anything. Like, how am I gonna do this? So I let fear take over me, and also in 2023 I also let fear take over me. However, as 2023 went by, I told myself, like, I can't keep going into a new year saying that things are going to be different without making a proper step, without actually making a difference. I can't keep doing that. I went into every year saying, yes, this year is going to be different, this year is going to be mine, and I never make a change. Every year I'm in the same predicament, I'm in the same place, I'm in the same mindset. I keep saying things are gonna be different and things are not different because I am not taking the steps to actually make it different, if that makes sense. So once I realized that, and at first I was never gonna move out of New York. I kept saying, I'm a city girl, like I can't move out of New York. But as I realized, it's like I can't grow in New York, I had to really separate myself from it. So I made my mind up and said I want to move out of New York. It was just the timing. I kept saying, when the time is right, when the time is right, I'm going to move out of New York. let me tell you guys something. The time is never going to be right, okay? It's never going to be right. I've been saying when the time is right for so long, and the time is never going to be right. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. So about the middle of 2023, I wanted to get closer to God. I got baptized. I wanted to remove all negative energies from my life, etc., etc. However, I had told myself I really have to put my actions behind my words. I always say this year is going to be mine. I always say this year is going to be different, but when the new year starts, I'm not doing anything different. I'm comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. And that went for a lot of things. It went for my living arrangement, my relationships with friends, family, partners. I was comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. I was very uncomfortable, but because it's what I'm used to, it's because it's like a safe haven, because I know I have this person or I know I have this place, I'm comfortable, but I'm not at peace. So 2023, I said, the middle of 2023, so like July, I said, this year has to be different. 2024 has to be different. And how can I make that different? I can't keep saying it's going to be different and still doing the same thing and not making a change. How is it going to be different? So what I did was I said, okay, I need to leave New York. I don't know how, but I need to leave New York. When my birthday came and I turned 28, I definitely said that this chapter has to be one for the books. I have to do something. I have to do something that I've never done before. And this is something I've never done before. So I started to apply for jobs in Georgia from like August to October. I started to apply for jobs, I was getting phone calls, but in my head, I'm like, I'm getting phone calls, I'm getting interviews, but I started to get scared. Then I'm like, well, where am I gonna live? I gotta find a school for Kaylee. Like, how do people do this? I don't know the route. You have to understand, this is my first adult thing that I am doing on my own. You know, so I'm like, how do people do this? People's moving from state to state. How do you find the right school? How do you find the right neighborhood? How do you do this? Like, I've been to Georgia, but I've never really looked at different areas, looked at different places to live at. So it's like, how do you do this? I'm planning on leaving in 2024, the beginning of 2024. And right now, from August to October, I'm applying for jobs, but it's like, I don't know what area I want to live in. I never drove around and looked at different areas. I don't know what's a good school zone. I don't know anything. So I had a breakdown. I think about in October, I had a breakdown, early October. And I was very emotional, and I was on the phone with my cousin, and I was just telling her how I feel. And the conversation went to leading up to I can stay with her to figure things out. So I'm like, okay. But I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to take my daughter out of school in the middle of the school year, because by the time January comes, it's technically the middle of the school year. And I know Georgia system is different from New York system. So I didn't want to take her out in the middle of the school year and not confuse her mind, but like technically confuse her mind, because the things that they're probably learning out here, they're not learning in New York, or the things that they learn in New York, they're not learning out here, vice versa, you know? So I didn't want to take her out in the middle of the school year. So I was like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I gotta go without her. And it was a difficult decision to make. I had to sit down with her dad. I had to talk to him. I had to utilize the help that I had from her dad. I had to let him know how I'm feeling, how I felt about the situation. I had to have a talk with both of them. Kaylee and her dad, and I had to let them know, like, I don't want to take her out of the school year. I don't want to interrupt her life at that moment. And mind you guys, I'm coming out here to figure it out. I'm coming out here to look at different areas. I'm coming out here to find a good school zone. I'm coming out here to find an income. I didn't want to take my daughter out of school and bring her to Georgia when I have no answers. I did not want to do that to her. How am I going to take her out of school, bring her out here? I'm over here looking for a job. I'm out here trying to find good areas to live in, look at different apartments to get an idea of what I want, and I'm taking her out here with no steady place to lay her. Like, it's a steady place, but no steady place of her own to lay her head. You get what I'm saying? So me and her dad had came to a good decision that it was best for her to stay in New York with her dad to finish out the school year, and we'll go from there. So I knew that it was the right decision that I was making because God was making a way. I had a way to get out there, which means I had a vehicle to get out here. I had a place to stay when I got out here. You know, God didn't put no roadblocks in my way of getting out here. And that's how you know when it's the right time to make a move. It doesn't have to be this type of move. I'm just saying, like, any move in general, that's how you know it's the right time to make a move, because God is not going to put no roadblocks in front of you. If you're making a move, making a decision, and there's something that keeps stopping you from doing it, there's something that's in front of you, literally in front of you, that just keeps stopping you from doing it, that's a roadblock, which means God is telling you not yet. And I really had to look at that, and it's crazy because I didn't see it that way until my sister told me. When I was on the phone with her, telling her, like, you know, I'm moving and I'm scared and yada yada yada, she was just telling me, like, there's nothing to be scared of. She was like, if it wasn't meant to happen, God would have made a way of it not to happen. Instead, he made a way. He gave you a way to get there. He's giving you a place to stay. He didn't put no roadblock in front of you to get there. Now, if you didn't have a place to stay, that's a roadblock. If you didn't have no way to get there, that's a roadblock. And I had to understand that. So when I made the decision in October to actually move to Georgia, I didn't tell nobody. I didn't start telling anybody until December, the ending of December and January. That's when I started telling people I'm leaving, because my date of leaving was February 2nd. Of course, I spoke to my daughter all the time. Every time I let her know, you know, mommy is leaving. I, you know, took her out on multiple mommy-daughter days and just expressed to her, you know, the time is coming soon, like, just so that she's prepared and ready. And I think that's why my daughter wasn't so emotional, if you guys seen that video. But yes, I did speak to her, you know, over and over. The only people that knew from the jump was my cousin, who offered me to stay with her, my child's father, and my child. Everyone else did not know. I did start telling people the end of December and January, because I did not want nobody to try to change my mind. I did not want nobody to put any thoughts inside of me that will contribute to me being scared and having fear. I did not want that. So I literally kept it a secret for so long until I knew in my mind, this is happening. I did not want nobody to change my mind. I did not want nobody to put fear in me. I did not want to become scared. I did not want nobody to downplay it. I did not want nobody to be like, oh, you think you can do it. I did not want any of that, because once that negative energy come out, here I am being fearful, being scared, and asking myself, well, damn, Naijah, can you do it? So that's how I knew it was time to make the right move. And leaving my kid behind is something that I never wanted to do. I literally told myself I'd rather struggle with my kid than to ever leave my kid. But that's me being selfish. And I had to, like I said, I had to utilize the help that I had from her dad. And I had to make the right decision that was good for my kid. I couldn't be selfish, and I couldn't make the decision just be based on, oh, I don't want to leave my kid behind. I had to understand she has 2 active parents in her life. And if I lack something and if I can't do something, I know her dad can pick up, and vice versa. If her dad lacks something, he can't do something, I know I can pick up. So that is the good thing about having help. And for some people, they don't have the help of the father. They may not have the help of the mother. But if you do have any type of help, grandparents, family members, somebody that you can really, really trust with your kid, I'll say utilize the help. If you don't, I'm sorry that you don't. And I know struggling with kids it could be a very draining and fearful situation, because you're just fearful of the what ifs. So I had to utilize the help. I had to make the right decision for my kid. I had to understand that I can't be selfish in a situation. Just because I'm struggling, my kid don't have to struggle, you know? So it was a very, very hard decision to leave my kid behind. Very hard. Every time I talk about this topic, it gets me emotional, because it's my child, it's my daughter, and every mom needs their daughter, and every daughter needs their mom. Not saying they don't need their father and stuff, but I'm just saying it was hard leaving my daughter behind, but I had to do the right decision. And then I also had to put in my mind that there are people who's in the military and who has to leave their kid behind for months, years, if so, and they're not able to speak to their kid as often as they want. I had to put that in my mind and understand, like, that's not my situation, because I'm able to talk to my kid whenever I want to. I'm able to fly to her and make sure she's good. I'm able to do those type of things, but it's just the fact of not having my kid every single day. That is the tough part. But I know it's not gonna be a forever thing. I know it's just a temporary thing for me to find out, it's a temporary thing for me to figure out my life out here, so that I can bring my daughter out here. Figure out a life for my kid and I need to figure out what area I want to live in, what's a good area. I need to figure out the school zones around there. I need to figure out a job, an income. I need to figure these things out, and to have my kid out here with me while figuring out would have been tough. Don't get me wrong, I could have done it. But it would have been tough. And I'm just thankful for the help that I have. Another thing is also being positive in the situation. I've heard a pastor say that when you talk the negative, that's when the devil knows what to do. And when you talk the positive and be positive, remain positive, that's when God knows what to do. The devil won't know what to do with your life if you're talking positive. He only knows what to do with your life when you're talking negative. And that sat with me so well, because it's like, in this situation, I had to think positive, move positive. I had to know I made the right decision for Kaylee and myself. I had to know that I want a better life for her. I don't want her to have the life that I had. And not saying it can't happen anywhere, but I had to try to make the decision of saying, you know what? Let me take her out of New York to try and give her a better life. It can happen anywhere. Your life can be traumatic anywhere. You can go through things anywhere. But I know the life that I had in New York, and I don't want to give her that. And I wanted to take her out of that. So I have to think about the positive and just know who I'm doing it for, why I'm doing it, what's the outcome out of it. I have to remain positive, and I had to know that I got to put my faith in God, and I got to have faith over fear, like my chain says that my sister gave me. You got to have faith over fear. That faith is going to knock down the fear. You just got to have trust in God. You got to talk to God. You got to believe in God. You got to know God is going to make a way. He's going to make it happen. And you just have to understand that God has a vision for you. And you may think you're going one way, but God says, no, we're going this way. And you just have to go with what God says. I had to walk in God's path, and I gotta remain positive. So I made the move, and I'm still learning how to adapt to the new changes, the new surroundings. It has been an emotional ride. I have had my cries, I want my daughter, if I made the right move. But then I had to stop myself and just say, you're second guessing yourself. And when you second guess yourself, that's where you go wrong. It's been a very emotional ride. My daughter had her first breakdown, which made me fly to New York as soon as possible to go see her, because she finally had her first breakdown where she needed me. But I'm adapting still. It's only been a month that I've been out here. As you guys heard me say before, I've been a city girl. So to come to the suburbs and come to a quiet place to where really all you can really hear sometimes is just your thoughts, it's a bittersweet feeling. It's an emotional ride. And I had to realize that everything is not gonna happen as soon as I make the move. As soon as, it would be wrong of me to understand. It would be wrong of me to think as soon as I make the move, everything is gonna be perfect. Everything is gonna flow. Everything is gonna fall in my lap. No. As soon as I make the move, I'm gonna have the rough times. I'm gonna have the hard times. I'm gonna have the emotional ride. I'm gonna have it all. You know, it's just, I can't think everything is gonna be perfect as soon as I get out here. It's gonna take time. And I had to realize that, because when I first made the move and the first week I was out here, I was like, I think I made the wrong move. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm crying. I'm fearful. God, did I make the wrong move? Why is no jobs reaching back? Why is this? Why is that? How am I going to pay for this? I really, honestly, and truly was doubting myself the first week. And I really had to sit myself down and say, Naijah, it's only been a week. And even other people that I be talking to and expressing myself to be like, Naijah, it's only been 1 week. You came out here knowing that you did not have it all. So why are you beating yourself up because you didn't figure it out in 1 week? 1 week. I was already ready to book my flight and come back to New York within the first week of me touching down here. And I had to have people tell me, it's not a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea. You haven't even been there for a month. It's only been a week. And when I was ready to book my flight, it was prior to it reaching a week. It was like a Wednesday, and I would have made a week on a Friday. And I'm already told me I want to book my flight to go see my kid. And I had people really tell me, it's not even a month. You just got there. It's only been a couple days. And I really had to check back into reality, like, Naijah, things don't work in just a week. You have to work towards it. You have to work for it. It's not gonna happen in 1 week. So I have to remain positive. And I had to know that I came out here for a reason. And I gotta fight through the emotions. One thing that I could honestly say is that at least I tried it. And that's something that I want to share with you guys, that if you have something on your mind that you want to do it. At least you can say, I tried it. So even if it, God forbid, don't work, at least you can say, well, I tried. And now I know it don't work. Now I can go to the next thing that's on my mind. Now I can go to the next thing that God has prepared for me, because at least I tried it. The move I made out here, I know it's gonna work. God forbid it don't, at least I can say, well, I tried. And guess what? I tried without taking my daughter out of school and disturbing her routine for something that I want to try. So God forbid it don't work out. God forbid I have to move back to New York. God forbid I have to figure something else out. At least I know my daughter still has her routine. At least I know she's not going back and forth. And I think that's another reason why I was okay with making the decision of leaving her, because God forbid it didn't work, I didn't disturb her life, her routine, her pattern. I'm not jumping her from back and forth, back and forth. But I know it's gonna work. I know it's gonna work. God has a plan for me, and I had to follow him. And I know it's gonna work. With that being said, I just want to let you guys know that if you have a thought, a plan in your mind that you want to go after it. Chase it. You have one life to live, and you want to make sure that you live that life going after what's on your mind and chasing after your dreams. And God forbid it don't work, you just go to the next dream that you have. At least you can say, well, I tried it. You want to be able to say, I tried, it didn't work, and now I'm on to the next. You don't want to sit here and say, you don't want to live with the what ifs. Well, what if I tried this? What if I did this? I wonder where I'll be. Do it. And that's something that I wish I did a few years ago. I honestly wish I would have taken this serious a few years ago and did it a few years ago. I honestly do. I wish I would have moved. When the thought came in my mind, I wish I would have moved then. But because I was so fearful, because I was so scared, because I kept doing the what ifs, I didn't do it. But I told myself a change needs to happen. And the first step to making a change was to leave New York. I feel like I couldn't be the best version of myself in New York. I was surrounded around so much negative energy. So much that I felt like I could not be the best version of myself surrounding around so much negative energy. I would take myself out of one negative energy situation and I'm in a whole another negative situation. I would take myself out of that and I'm still in another one. No matter how many times I distance myself from a negative energy, I'm still around some type of negative energy. And I felt like to get rid of it completely, I had to leave New York and I had to figure it out. And my daughter will be with me. I just have to fight. I have to keep going. I have to keep pushing. I don't like the fact that I left my daughter, but I couldn't be selfish and just think about my feelings only. I had to think about hers. And I know it also hurts her that I'm not there physically, but I had to think, I had to think like a mom. I had to be a mom. I had to really make a hard decision. And I really had to make a choice of being selfish or doing what's right. And I also think about it like this: let her have all the time that she can have with her dad, because when she come out here, she's gonna be with me, you know? Not saying she's not gonna see her dad and be with her dad or anything. I'm just saying when she comes out here, she's gonna be with me. So I just wanna end this video with, do what God has for you. Go after them dreams. Go after it. At least you can say you tried it. I made a big move. I made a big decision. I'm proud of myself for doing it. I'm proud of myself for doing it. This is the biggest thing I ever did in my life. The biggest thing I ever did in my life was leave a whole state that I know, a state that I know like the back of my hand, a state that I'm used to, a state that I've been in my whole life. I finally left it, and now I'm in a new state and I'm trying to figure it out. And moving forward, my vlogs are going to be my journey here. I used to vlog with no intentions. I used to just vlog my life. I'm just showing you guys what I'm doing. If you guys see my New York videos, I'm literally just vlogging my life. I'm vlogging what I'm doing, literally. My intentions moving to Georgia is not to just vlog my life. Yeah, this is what I'm doing today. My intentions is literally to vlog my experience, my journey of adapting to a new state. Showing you guys my real raw emotions, opening up to you guys, showing you guys a different side of me, showing you guys my journey and hoping that I have people who can relate to me that watches my video. It's time to do your big one. It's time to step out. It's time to make that move. It's time to do that thing that's on your mind. It's time. It's time to be positive, think positive. It's time to have faith in God. Stop talking that negative energy, because then the devil know what to do with you. If you say, I'm scared of that I won't get this job, then the devil knows, oh, she's scared of not getting this job. I'm not gonna get her this job. I'm gonna do something to put in front of her for her not to get this job. I'ma block it, because I know that's what she's scared of. Stop talking that negative thing. Talk that positivity. Oh, I'm gonna get this job. Oh, God got me. Oh, this job is mine. Because then now God knows she really wants this job. I got her. So yeah, we have come to the end of the video. I feel like I touched on a few different topics. I feel like I opened up a little bit more. I hope this video was helpful for some. If not, then at least one person. I thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and for watching my journey of how I make it out here in Georgia, how things are going out here, my journey, my steps. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Later, y'all.